Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2023-24 season. My name is Dan, and we're streaming. It is 11:30 UK time on a Saturday, and it's deadline. We're going early today, 2 hours until deadline. I'm telling you guys, these deadlines, slightly later than usual, these are absolute music to my ears. I have to say, I do not enjoy the morning streams. But 11, bake. This is good. It allows me to get up in the morning, sort myself out, do a little bit of research prior to the stream, check out all the news that's going on. We are a little bit early, so I'm still a little bit disorganized naturally. Just gonna throw out an Instagram story just to say everyone join the stream. So yeah, just going to put out a quick Instagram story. And then, guys, I will be with you. And we'll say good morning. If there's any members in the chat, make yourself known. And we'll say good morning to you in just one moment. But until then, I will put out a quick story. There we go. Done. Okay. We're in. I'm trying to put more Instagram stories up, by the way. It's hard to keep on top of it. It really is. I don't really like Instagram that much, but there we go. 6:30 a.m. in New York City. Hey, I tell you what, that's much better than the normal. I mean, I guess the normal deadline would be it was 11? Usually the deadlines are 11 UK time. So, that's 6 a.m. if you're in Eastern time. In the US. I mean, what is it if you're like in like California or something? What is what time is the deadline if you're over there? Like normally, must be so early. Must be like 3 a.m. something like that. Do you stay up for it or do you get up for it? What's the solution? No idea. Lusaggio says, for the first time, I've joined the stream from the beginning. Good to hear it, man. Good to hear it. Mohammed said 4K to hit 200K. Yes, guys. We are closing in on 200,000 subscribers, which is amazing. It really is. Suzanne liking the new mustache look. It's to pair with the mullet that I'm currently growing. You probably can't see too well in this light, but we got a party in the back. We've got a party in the back going. And I'll keep growing it until I get in the top 100K. I did promise that I'm going to grow a mullet at least until I'm in the top 100K. Thought it was going to happen last game week, but we know what happened last game week. Absolute disaster for those of us well prepared on the Liverpool boys. But it is what it is. It'll be what it be. So there we go. Any leaks about Walker? For Man City, I don't think we're going to get any leaks until closer to the deadline, to be fair. Which is still like almost 2 hours away. We've got a long time before deadline, so we can chill out, I guess, for a little bit and just chat FPL a little bit, and yeah, maybe some other stuff. And then as we get close to the deadline, we'll do all the heavy hitting stuff. We'll do some like captaincy polls. I think we'll do bench list as always. Let me show you my team. Let me show you where we're at. So this is where we're at the moment. I've got full 11, which is decent, but it's only going to take one leak that we don't have a play. You know, if Estupinian is not starting, if De Bruyne isn't starting, even if, Charlie Taylor maybe isn't starting, then things can quickly turn sour. I'm not massively happy about double Newcastle defence against Arsenal either. I think, honestly, guys, I'm going to be wildcarding soon. I think I can really feel a wildcard in Gameweek 28 or 29. 27 or 28. I think I'm going to wildcard soon. I got too many problems. Like the João Pedro thing has fully screwed me over. It really has. It's messed with so many of my plans. But this is part of FPL. Like sometimes the unexpected happens. Pedro Porro is a little bit of a problem as well. If he's not back for Gameweek 27, then I'm going to start seeing some issues there as well. Estupinian no longer nailed. Newcastle defence is obviously terrible at the moment. De Bruyne are no longer nailed as well. It's, some problems are arising. And I think I might need to wildcard soon to just kind of deal with it. Which is fine. I don't mind doing that. And to be honest, I kind of like the idea of using a wild card now and going for a slightly different strategy. Because it seems like a lot of people are on the free hit 29 strategy at the moment. And I don't mind going a slightly different way. Let's see. I think if I'm going to catch up with the template, if you like, then I'm probably going to have to do something slightly different. I think the wild card soon might actually, you know, kill two birds with one stone kind of thing. So I'm thinking about it. Neela hit with the super chat says, Hwang in for Barkley for a -8 to bench Castagna. I would think about it. Yeah, I would consider it. Yeah, it's not bad. The only problem is that do you not want Barkley for game week 28? Because Barkley have a double game week in game week 28. It might be worth holding on to him. Is there anyone else you can sell? I don't know. It's tough. I don't know. I think Hwang over the next 2 game weeks definitely does outscore Barkley. From it's it's not for -8 really. It's just for an additional -4 really, isn't it? I mean, I'm thinking about taking an additional -4 myself. Cole Palmer Goat says thoughts on free hitting this week. I'm not personally a fan of free hitting this week, but if you literally can only field like maybe 6 players, then it might be worth it. But I don't think you need to do that. But yeah, if you've got like 6 or 7 players starting, then a free hit might work for you. If actually you've got, you know, you're up to 9 players, I don't think a free hit is necessary. Is this going to be a really high scoring game week? I'm not sure. I mean, Arsenal attackers, Wolves attackers, probably the highest upside there. Rowena says your wife is allowing you to grow a mullet. Yeah, she likes it. She actually likes it. She's a big fan. And she's a big fan of the mustache as well. Which is, it's always nice to get the ladies' approval on any new looks. It's going to be done. Ahmed says, is He-Chan a must this game week? I don't think he's a must. He is definitely, like, overhyped. Like, he's still a great pick, and I bought him myself. So, you know, please don't think, by the way, I'm just buying Hwang to follow a trend or anything like that. To be fair, like, I've been hyping him since last game week. I was saying, like, I really want him next game. I really wanted him last game week, really, against Spurs. Because I thought he would have a good chance against Spurs. So I was already looking at him. I think a few other people were already looking at him as well. But if, like, you know, you were never really that interested in him, you actually don't rate him that much, and maybe you're just seeing a lot of other people go for him right now, and you're jumping on it for the sake of it, taking many, many hits in order to maybe luxury hits to get Hwang, it's probably not worth it. But in terms of midfielders to buy this week, it probably goes Saka, #1 priority, and then Hwang Hee-Chan. But if you're selling players with fixtures, then I think that's kind of a little bit silly. Like, I completely understand taking hits and bringing in players if you're removing players who don't have a fixture. If you're just trying to field 11 men, remember, guys, if you don't have 11 players, every hit you take to remove a player who doesn't play to bring in a player who does play, a -4 is more like a -2, because the player just by playing is already halfway to making up for the hit, if you like. So, you know, if you can get a player with a decent chance of some FPL points, you know, if you get a player who, for example, with 4 or more predicted points, and that's probably the majority of popular players. I mean, let's go predicted points for this game week. And you'll kind of see the kind of players who are worth taking a hit for. So Haaland, Saka, Watkins, Tony, De Bruyne I probably wouldn't at this point because of the minutes risk. Garnacho, Bowen's in here. He-Chan, of course. Bruno Fernandes, Solanke, Erdegaard. Cash is an interesting turn of events since Conce's injury as well. Don't actually mind Cash for 4.6 million, although I think I prefer to go for Pau Torres, a bit more long-term. Even Martinelli I don't hate as a pick. Gross, Gabriel, Bailey, Adingra, Alex Moreno. These are the kind of players you might be looking at taking a hit for. All of these top players with high predicted points for this game week. Probably throw Neto in there as well. Defenders, maybe not so much. Don't know if I'd take a hit for a defender this week. There's just not enough defenders that I'd be confident of getting a decent score this week, really. Nice mustache, looks like Mario. Do I need to remove the mustache? Does it need to go? Oh dear. Yeah, because I suppose like, I don't get out very often, so the only people who see the mustache are my wife and you guys. So if you're not feeling it, maybe it needs to go. But I think it's a vibe personally. What to do with De Bruyne? Well, hopefully we're going to get some early team news on De Bruyne. Hopefully we'll get some answers. But what I will tell you about De Bruyne is he has travelled. He is with the squad. He is in Brighton right now, which is a positive sign. Pretty positive sign. David says, why is Palmer so unpopular this week? Because he doesn't have a fixture. He doesn't have a fixture at all. Omar says, pick 2, Juan, Garnacho, Tony. I'm going to say Juan and Tony. Nicholas says, is Bailey a mistake? I don't think so. If you're working towards building a team for Gameweek 29, then Bailey is a very useful player to have. I don't mind him. I don't love him, but I don't... Ketso says, where's the captaincy poll? I'm struggling. We'll do a captaincy poll. I'll probably wait a little bit closer to deadline whilst everyone gathers their thoughts a little bit. But honestly, you know, when in doubt, Captain Haaland, right? It's got to be done. It's got to be done. Christian says that's 200k plus YFC in the mustache. Yeah, I know. I do a deal then, guys. If we get to 200,000 subscribers, I'll get rid of the mustache, but not until then. A couple of super chats have come in. Jack Jones says, a buttery stream, Ant on knee, and Darwizzy OP. Are they indeed? Are they indeed? I can't see either of them playing this game week, to be honest. I do wonder if Anthony is going to play this game week with no Højlund. How do we see that playing out? Because I have seen rumours that Man United fans, you might be able to tell me this, there's a young forward. Is that maybe a Swedish sounding name? It sounded. I can't remember exactly what it was. I'm not familiar with this. I'm not too familiar with this guy. I think I heard his name before, but not really too familiar with his game. But apparently Man United have been training with this new young guy, potentially starting as the central striker. So actually, is it going to be still Rashford left, Garnacho right, this young chap, I think he said it was 19, central striker. What was his name? United fans, let me know in the chat. Amari Forson. Yeah, that's him. Amari Forson. Yes, boys, yes. You guys have got the knowledge. Yeah, it looks like he might be the guy starting as central striker for Man United this weekend, which is exciting, really. You know, to see a new. Yeah, we've seen like the likes of Rashford come through in recent years. You know, pretty much coming out of nowhere and becoming a star overnight. So you never know who's going to be next on the production line of Man United forwards. And other forwards we cannot mention as well. The Flying Naga says, I have Hwang, Gordon to Ødegaard all roll, have exact 11. I mean, I think I would roll that transfer, honestly. Like, Gordon to Ødegaard does improve your team, but I think Gordon after this game week could be pretty good. I think Gordon hopefully will be back to playing on the wing again as well. I think Isak has a good chance of playing this game week, this evening. I guess we'll see. But yeah, I think if you've got 11 and you can roll a transfer, you are in like a fantastic position. Like, so, like, seriously, guys, how many of us are actually rolling a transfer this week? Not many. Really not many. Most of us have actually taken hits. I've already taken a hit, and I might even take another one, depending on team news. So that's just the way things are. Neela here with another super chat says, I am following your recommended chip strategy, so wildcard within the next 2 weeks. Indeed. I think I'm going to go for the same. The only question is, does Hwang outscore Castagna by 4 points? I think he does. I don't expect Castagna to keep a clean sheet. And I think Hwang only needs maybe an assist, does it? Only needs an assist. And he's suddenly in the, going to be beating Castagna. So I do think Hwang outscores Castagna by 4 points. I do. Which kind of begs the question, is there any like players that I can change that I think will genuinely score 4 or more points? Like João Pedro to Solanke looks like a transfer I'd like to make, but if I'm totally honest, I'm only expecting a Solanke 2-pointer this week. Because I don't know if it's worth actually going for it. particularly if I have got a starting 11 already. I would ideally not like to start 4 defenders, but I don't really see any other way around it, to be honest. Could do... I'd want to do De Bruyne to Son, but Son doesn't have a fixture. Britain says 3 hit defenders, only room for 1 Arsenal and 0 Man City. Okay, 3 hit defenders. Ryan Aït-Nouri, Diogo Dalot. Who else? Alex Moreno. There you go. There's 3 nice 3 hit defenders for this game week. I like them all. Pick your favourites. Pick your favourites. Benjamin says, I think He-Chan could score a hat-trick. He's not really a player that's scored hat-tricks before. I don't think he's ever scored a... Has he ever scored a hat-trick in the Premier League? He's not even scored... Well, he scored 2 on 1 occasion in 45 minutes against Brentford. That was before the Asian Cup. I believe one of them was a penalty in that game. So, hey, it's possible, right? It is definitely possible. But I wouldn't hold my breath on a hat-trick from him, to be fair. But I think he can score points. You know, goal and an assist, I think, is a very, very reasonable expectation for He-Chan this week against Sheffield United, who seem all but gone, right? All but gone. Really doesn't look good. Greg says, Ødegaard for free or Saka for a hit. I think I'll take Saka for a hit. As long as the other transfer also improves your team, then I'd do Saka for a hit. Saka is just, I think, a level above... Ødegaard at the moment. Ødegaard's still a decent pick though, but if I'm going for Ødegaard, it's because he's my 3rd Arsenal player. The priorities are Saka and Gabriel. After that, you can go for an Ødegaard, you can go for a Saliba, maybe. I like them both. But they're your third Arsenal slot, right? Surely. Dr. Prashkta Diore says wildcard draft. I actually did one already. I'm sorry if I've butchered your name, by the way. I've already done one, actually. Should we do... I mean, I guess we could do one on stream as well, but I did one on the stream earlier this week, and then also on the video I uploaded yesterday. So I should probably encourage you guys to go watch that video, really, but maybe we just do it. Maybe we just do it. All right, let's go on the Fantasy Football Hub My Team to... I guess at the very least. Oh, that's my free hit team, by the way. This is the free hit team I built for this game week. But I'll also make a wildcard one for you real quick now. Because I think I can probably remember most of the players who I put in it. So it was Haaland, Tony Watkins, Saka. Then it was... I think I put Bruno Fernandes in there, He-Chan, Gabriel. And then... Who else did I have in there? Let's go through. I think I put Martinez in goal. Defenders, like Nori. I think I put Neto in there as well. Neto. I think also Fernandes could maybe be switched for Ødegaard, to be fair. In fact, let's do that. Will it allow me to do this, or do I have to... No, I need to refresh. We need to refresh. I'm refreshing. I'm starting again. Because I think at this point, I'd maybe go for Ødegaard above... I'll go for Ødegaard, I think. But maybe that's Arsenal bias shining through. Like, a lot of people have, like, commented on this channel that I have, like, an agenda against Manchester United, and I'm starting to believe them. I think maybe there is some bias coming in here, but what can I do? We're all slaves to our own biases, guys. What more can you do? But we'll tell you what, we'll throw in Garnacho for the bench for good measure. So, where were we? In terms of defenders... Actually, goalkeepers first. I want Martinez in goal, I think. And then Alex... Should we double up with Alex Moreno potentially there? And then we want Aït-Nouri. Gabriel... We'll throw Dalot in there. And we need one more defender. It would be for the bench. We'll go for Anderson against Burnley at home. Second goalkeeper can be... it's only the bench goalkeeper. So we can't go Martinez. Can't go Jose Sa. Flecken against West Ham, maybe. All right, let's save that. So this actually comes in under under 100 million as well. I think I played Neto above Garnacho, but you guys might have some things to say about that. I would be tempted to play Dallo, but I think I would stick with the other guys. So I think that, if I was on a... Wait, I'm doing a free hit team. Why am I doing a free hit team? That's exactly the same as this team. I'm going to be doing a wildcard team. But yeah, this would be my free hit team. There we go. So that's the old one. No, that's the old one. This is the new free hit team. This is the free hit team. Let's do a wildcard. My brain not working today or something. Right. Wildcard. Watkins would go in. Tony would go in. Oh, wait. We need Solanke, don't we? So we can't have Tony. Right. Concentrate, Daniel. Concentrate. So a wild card. Haaland, Watkins, and then we need Solanke. In midfield, we need Saka. We probably want to go for some players who actually play in Gameweek 29. So we've got Flecken in goal, but Neto for the double game week. In defence, I would go for... I would hedge my bets on defenders. So we imagine that one of Doughty or Dallo will have a fixture in Gameweek 29. One of them will have. We don't know which one for sure, but one of them will have one, most likely, 99%. So we'll throw both of them in, and then you've hedged your bets there. You are going to need some annoying players who maybe don't play this week but do play in 29. So Heung-min Son would be another player I'd go for. We'd probably go for one more defender who blanks this game week potentially. So we also need maybe Powell to cover you. It's tough. David Porter says, hi Dan, would you go for Solanke or Tony this week? I think Tony will score more points this week, but Solanke is the player you want to own over the next few weeks, I would say. Anyone asking about free hit? I don't particularly recommend it this week. No. I'm not too keen. I think there's just better opportunities later on in the season. So for that reason, I would be looking to dodge a free hit if possible. Let's complete this wildcard team. Now, do you go for someone like Udogie here? I think you potentially do. But let's pack out the midfield first. So I would be tempted by a Bowen or a Kudus. I think Kudus will be a good pick when Paqueta is back, but until then, it's just not great. But I don't want to spend all that money on Bowen, I don't think. So we're going to throw in Kudus. Linus says, Dan, can you do a wildcard draft for people with no free hit? Linus, we are doing it right now. We are doing it right now, my friend. Okay, moving on. Gabriel. Not Gabriel Martinelli. We need normal Gabriel. We are so close to completing this team. Right, midfielders. I mean, do you need a Douglas Luiz? You kind of do need a Douglas Luiz. All right, the thing is, you've got to have a Douglas Luiz or a Bailey in here to make it work for Game Week 29. So what does that give us? That puts us to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players. We need one more probably player who has a fixture in 29 to make this team look decent. Let's go for Neto. And should we just go for Charlie Taylor, like just for that cheap bench guy? I mean, it really is so tough finding that defender. I mean, looking through Game Week 29 teams who play. Aston Villa, West Ham, Brentford, Reguilon. He's probably the answer, isn't he? Doubling up on the Brentford defence. I don't love it. So let's go with this for a wild card. If I was to wild card. Something like that. Which I think, to be fair, is a semi-decent team. The problem is you've got the likes of Douglas Luiz and Kudus, who aren't amazing picks, are they? But you kind of have to go that way. Of course, Neto could go for Hwang if you prefer. In fact, I would probably go for Hwang. So yeah, let's make that change. AJ with the super chat says Tavernier to He-Chan for a -8. Did Watkins and Saka in already? I don't think I would, no. Because Tavernier has a fixture against Burnley next week and then a double game week the week after. Why not Senesi? I just think it's easier to cover the... If you're on a wild card, I think it's easier to cover the Bournemouth defence with a goalkeeper, because then you can easily bench that goalkeeper in game week 29. Whereas if you've got Senesi, then that's another game week 29 player, outfield player, who blanks in 29, which is going to be tough to have too many outfield players who blank in 29. So I think particularly this week, since Senesi is not going to be particularly useful for you this week either, if you do go for Senesi, it probably means sacrificing another player. At that point, you'd have to sacrifice a Gabriel or a He-Chan or someone like that in order to get yourself an additional game week 29 player, and I don't think it's worth it. So I think one Bournemouth defender, i.e. Neto, is going to be enough. Britain says, thank you, mate. Thank you very much, Britain. You've been very generous with your super chats today. Really do appreciate it. It helps keeps the channel going. Amina Slimani says, KDB will play today. I don't know for sure, my friend. I don't know for sure. I think we're going to get... we'll possibly get some team news later, but it's going to be at least an hour. Or, we're not going to get anything for an hour, right? There are rumours that Stupinian is starting, by the way. I don't know how true the rumours are, but there are rumours. Just wanted to put that one out there, that Stupinian is starting today. So let's see what happens there. It could be pretty interesting if he is. Is that my cat? Yeah, my cat is doing something in the hallway. Would you captain Neto? I don't think I would, no. I don't think I would. Is Richarlison a keep or sell? Who to replace him with? I think he's a keep. If you can hold him on the bench, I would. I have Mikolenko. Is he playing? Possibly. Yeah. I think I'm trying to remember the press conference notes I have. Actually, let's bring up my notes page for all of my press conference notes from yesterday. Let's see here. Everton. Mikolenko hopeful to start after a knock. So there is positivity around Mikolenko starting. Of course, we don't know for sure, but it's from the press conference notes I have down, it sounds pretty positive. So let's see what happens. George says Garnacho for this week and 29 potentially. I mean, potentially. You've got to hope that United lose their FA Cup game next week, though. Barnslig says, Jota and Lascelles out for He-Chan and Nori for a -4. Will have 2.2 million to spare and a full playing squad. Sounds pretty good to me, my friend. Sounds pretty strong to me. Jack says, hi, Dan, how are you? Good, thank you, my friend. Good, thank you. Kaja says, do you think Archer will start? I think there's a chance. It kind of comes down to Brereton Diaz, right? Because I don't think he's going to be available. It doesn't sound too optimistic. I guess we'll see. Rosen says, with this wildcard, how would you bring back Salah? You would probably have to sacrifice Son in order to do that. So maybe even Son and Saka. So let's save the plan and just go week by week, I guess. So game week 27, you would probably be okay to roll. But, if there's, if we get FA Cup news, that's the problem. Game week 27 is going to give us FA Cup news and therefore game week 29 news and therefore everything can change. But by game week 30, if you wanted to do like a double switch of, well, to be fair, most of you guys might even be close to affording a straight switch with maybe one downgrade. Maybe you downgrade Dallo at that point and you have enough money to just go for a cheap defender here. Malo Gusto potentially. Something like that. Make the transfers. And then you can play Salah instead of Douglas Luiz. Maybe something like that. If you've got good team value. If not, you might have to sell Solanke or Watkins or Hopefully not a Saka, but potentially there. But it's pretty easy. As long as you're happy to sell Son. You're basically holding Son instead of Salah. It would be nice to have all three. But like it's going to be super hard. If you want like Haaland, Salah, Son, Saka, and Watkins, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. But maybe it'll be possible. Maybe. I guess we'll see. But it's like so hard, like to make any kind of like comprehensive plans this game week. I mean, it's good to have rough plans, right? But everything changes next week. Next week, honestly, next game week is probably going to be the biggest game week of the season in terms of really defining the rest of the seasons. Blanks, doubles, everything. We're going to find so much out next week. I can't wait to get stuck into it at all, to be fair. I think what I'll probably do is we'll have the final FA Cup results. I believe it's on Wednesday. So I think I'm going to sleep all through the day on Wednesday. And then watch the FA Cup games in the evening. And then throughout the entire night, all the way till like, I don't know, 6 a.m. or something, maybe even later, just work everything out, make a video, and get that up on Thursday morning that will just cover everything. Because there's going to be so much to learn. So much to learn. And I can't wait to get stuck in and share it with you guys. McCloppin says Chelsea losing would be the best result, but that's wishful thinking. Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Because if Chelsea lose to Leeds, then suddenly Chelsea and Arsenal players are good for Game Week 29, which would be huge. But, you know, I kind of like the idea of it just Game Week 29 being chaotic. I like the idea of it being like totally chaotic, where everyone has problems in Game Week 29, and just to see how different people react to that, rather than just kind of everyone rolling with the same strategy. Different people will respond to Game Week 29 in different ways if it's like a full chaos game week. And I think particularly in a game like FPL, dealing with chaos is like one of the few edges left. So I would love to. I will be there no matter what. If it's, I think I could accept if, like, you know what, it would probably be more chaotic if Luton blank in 29, Luton and Forest blank in 29, but Man United and Sheffield United play in 29. That would be full chaos, and every other result goes as expected other than that one. That would be the chaos mode that I want to live through. I really, really do. Because can you imagine to have Man United players against Sheffield United with Man United's good form recently? I think Højlund should be back by then as well. You would have thought. He's out for two to 3 weeks. So Game Week 29 is 4 weeks away. Is 29 just before the international break? Let me check this out. I think it's Game Week 30 is the international break, isn't it? Yeah. So Game Week 29 is 3 weeks away. 3 weeks away. And then we've got a 2-week international break. Or I'm going to try and go on holiday, I think. Got to get away. Need a break, man. Why is no one free hitting in 29? Are you kidding, Baron? Everyone's free hitting in Game Week 29. Everyone. You will struggle to find a content creator who is not free hitting in 29 at this point. It's the hype strategy of the week. It's the flavour of the week. But everything changes next week. If a couple of cup upsets, everything changes. It really, really does. Yash says, what's up, Dan? Hope you're doing well, mate. I'm good, Yash. I'm good. How are you? Hope you're good as well. God's will asking for team news. We will give you team news as it comes in. As it comes in. Is it okay to wildcard this game week? Yeah, I mean, it's okay to wildcard, but a wildcard next game week is much more beneficial because we'll have, I mean, I don't want to keep saying the same thing over and over again, but next week we get so much information. And a wildcard, you get to completely revamp your team. So if you can completely revamp, you know, do your team all over again with all that new information, then that's just going to be incredible, right? It's going to be insane. Keep or sell Porro? I would keep him if you're planning on going into 29 without the use of a chip, but otherwise sell him. Mark says, good morning, Dan, straight from Montreal, Canada. Good morning, good morning. Mittal says, hello, just joined. Anything on De Bruyne? Yeah, nothing on De Bruyne. I wouldn't expect anything for another hour. Hopefully we'll have some De Bruyne stuff in an hour. But we've got so many 3 p.m. kickoffs today. Villa Forest, Brighton Everton, Palace Burnley, Man United Fulham all kick off at 3. So we could get some early team news on any of those games. Any or all of those games, really. Because Bournemouth and City is at 5:30, it's a little bit tougher to get early team news. But to be fair, what we've seen recently is that Man City leakers are absolutely ruthless. They are going very early. They're getting the information very early. So yeah, we'll be keeping a close eye on Man City stuff. But you know, these guys aren't going to leak anything now. They'll be leaking it later, as close to the deadline as physically possible, I think. So yeah, we have to just sit here and wait. We are at their whim. I think if Foden or De Bruyne aren't starting from the Man City news, I think it's time for another hit from me. Don't know exactly where I'd go, but we'll see. Surely it's got to be worth it, right? Walker or Moreno, to start or to buy? To start, I'd go for Moreno. To buy, I don't know. I'm worried that Moreno's going to lose some minutes to Dino at some point. I don't know when that's going to happen, though. It hasn't happened so far. So maybe that's just misplaced worry and concern. We'll see. Right, so what kind of moves could I make there? If we do find out that Foden or De Bruyne isn't starting, what move would I make? Because I guess João Pedro is the most obvious player to sell because I don't want him anyway. But I'm limited in terms of forwards. I really, really am. I mean, I could do Solanke, but I'm not really that confident for Solanke this game week. Would I just do that and get one transfer ahead? One transfer ahead of the game? I mean, maybe. It's the only real place I'd like to go. So would it be a case of, you know, if De Bruyne's not starting, actually I would rather remove De Bruyne for Son, and I can't do that until next week? Do I do like a 1 week punt on possibly a Neto? Would it even be a 1 week punt, or would I play him again next week against Newcastle? Quite possibly. A 2 week punt. So maybe we could double up on Hechan and Neto. That could be pretty fun. Not sure. Would I buy another defender? Would we go for Aït-Nouri? Don't really like the idea of taking a hit for a defender. Let's go back to the points predictions. Who are like the players that I don't have? So Tony wouldn't be able to afford him and want to move to Solanke anyway. So I do need Solanke probably next week. Garnacho, yeah, he's okay. I think I would prefer Neto to Garnacho. Bowen I'm not going to go for. Hechan already got. But Bruno Fernandes possibly wouldn't go for. Ødegaard maybe? Bring in another Arsenal boy. Ready for the kickoff tonight? And that could be pretty fun, to be fair. Maybe if I do that and take Ødegaard for a 2 week punt. Could be pretty interesting. And then wildcard him out probably in 28. Let's see. We'll see what the vibes say. But Ødegaard is definitely tempting. I think Ødegaard or Neto I'd probably go for a midfielder or for my team if I found out De Bruyne or Foden wasn't starting. Because I'd be happy going with one less City midfielder in 27. And if De Bruyne is going to continue to be a bit of a pain to own, then I'd be pretty happy to sacrifice him. Veer says, hi Dan, currently on 5 players playing this game week. Wow. That's not very good. There's not very many, sorry. Want to do Pinnock, Porro, Richarlison to Jota, Gabriel, Stupian, Saka, and Hee-Chan for a -8. So that would get you up to 9. Even that's not... I wouldn't get a Stupian now. I wouldn't buy a Stupian now. I think he's a thing of the past. This team needs a wild card, Veer. This genuinely needs a wild card. Yeah, Veer, I think it's time to play the wild card, my friend. Like, I don't even think a free hit solves this one, because you've got players like Pinnock, Jota, possibly Porro, who you need to remove anyway. 5 players is the lowest I've seen. Yeah, Veer, let's go with the wild card if you still have one. Because that's gonna... I know, like, you might not have all the information of next game week, but I think you can take hits next game week instead. You can field a full 11 this week, because even that -8 is only going to take you to 9 players. If you can wildcard this week, you get 11 players now, and then take a -8 next week if you need to. It means you get to have 11 players this week and take the same amount of hit. But just do it next week instead, if needed. And you might not even need it. If all cup results go as expected, you might not even need to take that -8 hit. You might even make 1 transfer. You might make none. So, for sure, Veer, if you have a wild card, use it. This is the exact kind of scenario where you do need one. Zissou says, De Bruyne or Foden this week? What, to start or to buy? I wouldn't buy either. If I had to start one... based on current information, Foden, but hopefully we'll get some early team news for you and we can solidify that. Jim Kehoe says, tempted with Saka captaincy. I feel like it's the perfect fixture given how bad Newcastle are in defence. Could also be a 1-1 game though, which is bad. I can't see it being a 1. I think Arsenal score goals and I think Saka scores well. But just do remember that Saka his scores recently have been inflated by penalties. Haaland is also on penalties. But yeah, Arsenal have the better fixture. But Haaland always has the higher ceiling. Saka has a very good ceiling, but Haaland always has the capacity to score a hat-trick. I think also with Haaland, this game does suit City. Because Bournemouth aren't exactly a super defensive... You know, Bournemouth playing at home, they're not exactly going to be a super defensive, low-block kind of team. And when Man City get going, they really get going. If they score in the first half, it's Haaland's for the taking. So I do like Saka. I do like, you know, if I'm going to go for anyone outside of Haaland, I do go for Saka. But I don't think I would feel confident in captaining Saka over Haaland. It would be like the hours between the City game ending. Well, actually, it wouldn't even be hours. It'd be like half an hour. The half an hour between the City game ending and the Arsenal game starting could be very, 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 very painful. Very painful. Yash says bench list. Do we really need a bench list? Do people really have players on their bench this week? Like, playing players on their bench? I think the only discussion I've maybe seen is people saying start Taylor or Trippier. Taylor has higher predicted points. I'll put that one out there. So I think maybe start Taylor ahead of Trippier. Particularly if we get news that Taylor's starting. I don't know if we'll get that or not, to be fair. Sexy Beast says, no, Manchester City absolutely drilled the out of Bournemouth. They beat Bournemouth habitually and richly. Yeah, but this is a different Bournemouth team. Come on, let's be honest. This is not the Bournemouth team of old. They look very good this season. And they've got really good defensive numbers too. Really good. So I wouldn't like... I mean, let's look. Let's have a look at the defensive numbers from Bournemouth. Because it's been good stuff. Go teams. Go defensive. Expected goals conceded. Probably the best metric here. Per appearance, because not all teams play the same amount of games. And let's go 10 game weeks. So we go 10 on a 10 game week, so that would be a variety of games for all teams. You can see, and this is what I keep saying, Newcastle are the worst defence in the Premier League. They really are. Newcastle down there with West Ham and Luton. Absolutely crazy. Newcastle over the last 10 game weeks are conceding 3.8 big chances per game. That's enormous. It's worse than, it's basically 4 big chances conceded per game. How nuts is that? Down there, Newcastle down there, West Ham, Luton, Burnley. We probably expect Burnley and Luton to be down there. Sheffield United, not quite as bad as you think, but, still they do ship goals. That has kind of been inflated by their new manager bounce they had, which has quickly gone downhill again. You can see Bournemouth, in terms of expected goals conceded, they are up there with Liverpool and Everton, who we don't exactly consider weak defences. I think if you bring the stats in a little bit tighter as well, we go 6 game weeks, for example. Actually, they've actually dropped. Forest are up there now, though. I actually heard this stat yesterday that Nottingham Forest defensive numbers are actually not so bad recently. And there you go. But they just concede far more goals than expected, don't they? Their actual goals conceded are significantly more than their expected goals conceded. Need to figure out their goalkeeper situation, don't they? But yeah, the moral of the story is Bournemouth are not actually that bad defensively. And Newcastle really, really are. They really are shocking. So I definitely understand the temptation to captain Saka. Everything within me wants to do it myself, but I think this is a week to be a little bit more sensible. A little bit more sensible, anyway. Katika says, hi, switching Josser and Darwin for Hechan and Solanke. Yeah, pretty much the same transfers everyone on the planet is doing. If Foden doesn't play, should I switch Palmer on the bench for someone else for a -8? If so, who? I'd actually rather sell Foden than Palmer. If Foden's not playing, I would switch Foden out and go for like an Erdegaard or a Neto or a Garnacho or a Bruno Fernandes. But again, it's going to be slightly chip strategy dependent, I guess. Which hopefully a lot of you guys already have a rough idea of what you're going to be doing. If not, we'll figure it out next week together. No worries about that. Aditya says, what to do with KDB? Nothing until we find out more about his chances of starting. I wouldn't be confident or comfortable making any decisions quite yet. I think we'll possibly get some early team news. Let's see. Let's see what we have. I don't think we have anything at the moment. Yeah, nothing so far. But the team news will come. They certainly will. I really hope, anyway. Imagine if we don't get any early team news on a week like this. Surely not. Surely it's got to come. But nothing yet. We are a little bit early. I think because we've been streaming for already been streaming for an hour, and it's actually still over an hour until deadline. It feels like we're closer to the deadline than we are. Like, early team news doesn't usually come in until the last half an hour before deadline, right? Any words on Trossard? Yeah, I can give a few words on Trossard. I like him as a pick, and if Jesus was out long term, I would really strongly be considering buying him. However, Jesus is progressing well, apparently. And even if he doesn't make this game week, surely game week 25... it's game week 27. Game week 27 is the game against Sheffield United. Like, that is big for Arsenal. Is that the week where actually Trossard drops out completely and Jesus comes back in, possibly. But I mean, does Trossard maybe hold his place? I don't know. It's difficult to say. I think the problem is with Trossard is that as long as Jesus is in and around the club, he is going to be rotation risk. And even if he does continue to play maybe in midfield, then, I mean, he's not going to be as appealing in midfield. But also, would he even play in midfield? Because you've still got Havertz in there. You've got Thomas Partey nearing a return as well. He's going to be back pretty soon. Trossard is just not part of Arsenal's main starting 11. He just isn't, unfortunately, even though he has been in good form. So, I don't know. Has he earned a place in the starting 11? Maybe not quite yet. But hey, maybe a brace against Newcastle today changes that. So, I think Trossard is super risky still. He is definitely a player that I would consider, though. If I wanted to take a real risky punt, he would probably be the player I'd go for. But there is significant risks there. Significant risks that probably outweigh the potential benefits. Because you can get you can get points from Odegaard. You can get points from, the Wolves guys as well. So I think there are other opportunities that are perhaps a bit, similar points potential, but actually far less risk attached to them. Samir says, should I replace Darwin with Watkins or Richarlison with He-Chan? I'm thinking of free hitting in 29. I would go Darwin to Watkins, I think. Vieira, not Patrick, is back too. Oh, yeah. He played Fabio Vieira. Was back in the Champions League, wasn't he? Midweek. Noam says, who would you start between Solanke, Trippier or Stupinian? I think I would start Solanke, back the attacker. Back the attacker on that one, I think. Seems like the move. Seems like the play. But to be fair, I also don't think Solanke's going to score. So, yeah, conflicted. But I think you just back the chance. Surely Trippier is not looking great for points this week, is he? Stupinian is super risky. Although, again, rumours that Stupinian is starting. But, I mean, even that, doesn't really fully help us because, he could get subbed off at half-time or something like that. Stupinian is just an absolute nightmare FPL asset, isn't he? He really has been a disaster transfer in FPL terms. Terrible stuff. Would you rather start Stupinian or Taylor? I think I would take the risk on a Stupinian. If we're talking about defenders versus defenders, if we're comparing apples to apples, I would take a risk on a Stupinian over the likes of Trippier and Taylor. But outside of that, maybe not. I wouldn't play a Stupinian over attackers, but I would play him over other defenders. Is Odegaard a genuine option? I believe he is. Yeah, I do think he is. The next two game weeks look good for him. I mean, I was actually checking out some of the stats yesterday. Let's open up a new stats page. We're on Fantasy Football Hub, by the way, guys. Shout out to them. Link in the description. Second link in the description if you want to check out Fantasy Football Hub's tools. So let's go key stats. Let's go 6 game weeks and should we go per? Let's go per start today. Expected points. And then we'll filter out the low minutes players because they don't really count. And then Odegaard is on page 1. So he's got similar numbers to the likes of Palmer and Foden, who we obviously really like. Similar numbers to Højlund, who everyone's been hyping up recently. And, he's a 90-minute man. So we're going per start. You're going to get a decent amount of minutes from him. Decent, just in general, decent. 5 expected points per game. So it's pretty nice. He's obviously always got a slim chance of being on penalties as well. Saka's going to take the vast majority of them. But, Saka's been subbed off a couple of times recently early. Maybe Odegaard has penalties at the end. Odegaard will know set pieces as well. So I do think he's no Saka, who really is an absolute beast in terms of attacking numbers at the moment. But yeah, he's definitely up there. If we go totals, I think Ødegaard actually goes up. Does he go up? Martinelli's numbers are pretty good as well. Per 90, I reckon Martinelli is actually going to be pretty high. Yeah, pretty high. So Martinelli, I think, makes Martinelli like the underrated pick. 3 goals and 1 assist in his last 6 appearances. What if we take it to 5? What happens there? You can see Trossard up there. But yeah, Martinelli's numbers technically a little bit better than Ødegaard's. It doesn't feel like he's scoring as many points though. Why is that? Is this bias? Martinelli just feels less reliable, doesn't he? Is it because Ødegaard scored a bunch of points the last 2 game weeks, pretty much, isn't it? So that's Ødegaard last 2 game weeks, 2 back-to-back 10-point plus hauls in those big games. Martinelli blanked in the last 2 games, but scored in some of those lower scoring games, which is interesting. But his numbers are better over the last 5, but just not over the last 2. And over the last 2, Ødegaard's numbers have been better. I wonder if that's going to be like partly because of the opponent. Like Martinelli's going to be better against teams that, you know, maybe play a little bit further up the pitch. If you look at the fixtures where Martinelli did well against a Liverpool, you know, play with a higher line. Forest and Crystal Palace not so much though. But obviously Burnley and West Ham. Now Burnley aren't necessarily a sit-back team either, are they? Okay, so maybe that's completely nonsense. But yeah, I think it's just the fact that Ødegaard scored more points in the last 2 game weeks and has had better numbers, particularly creatively. He's had better numbers than Martinelli last 2, but I do love Martinelli. Martinelli is like my favourite player. I would probably, well, I mean, it's probably Saka, but for Arsenal, I do love Martinelli a lot. And he just hasn't quite hit his full potential this season. Been a little bit rotation risk. He's prone to an early sub. So is Ødegaard the man? So tough to say. Is Ødegaard finally hitting that form that he showed last season all over again? The closer we get to deadline, the closer I get to bringing in Ødegaard. I swear, if Foden or De Bruyne find themselves out of the team, the starting 11, I think I might sell one of them for Ødegaard. I think I might do it. Triple up on Arsenal for their games against Newcastle and Sheffield United, and then wildcarding 28. I really, really like the idea of doing this. It's risky though, but I like taking a couple of risks. Like, who are actually technically the best midfielders in the game right now? So let's go midfielders only. So Saka, Luis Diaz, a lot of these players don't have fixtures. So if we discount all of them players who don't have fixtures this week, who's got the best numbers? Declan Rice is in there somehow, but there we go. So these are the players with the best numbers of recent game weeks. Barkley doesn't have fixture. Let's only selected players, and there we have it. That's your list of best midfielders according to the data. Of course, He-Chan is not going to be represented here because he hasn't really had a chance to play recently. Let's slide things around a little bit. So for 6 game weeks, oh, well, you need to go per appearance actually, don't we? Because it's not really fair otherwise. So because different players have played different amounts of games. If we look at more recent form, Ødegaard goes up and up and up, along with Trossard. Hudson-Odoi is really the dark horse there, really, isn't he? Decent numbers. Not bad at all from Hudson-Odoi. Is he genuinely worth talking about? Because Nottingham Forest have a good chance of having a fixture in 29. No one's really talking about him. Scored 3 and 3. 19-minute man over the last 3 as well. Tough fixtures. If you're on a free hit in 29, is Hudson-Odoi the guy to go for? Is it or is it Elanga? Elanga's numbers are phenomenal. He could have, scored a couple of goals against West Ham, but he didn't. Hudson-Odoi is finishing, but the numbers are slightly weaker over the last couple of games. So much food for thought, guys. So much food for thought. It's different. There's really a few options now. I think most people will just gravitate to the template, but I think there is some options out there. Do fancy an Odegaard pump though. Veer says, hi Dan, no wild card. Okay, this is problematic. Thinking Pinnock, Porro, Richarlison, Jota to Gabriel Taylor, Saka and Hee-Chan. I mean, I would keep taking hits. I'd just keep taking hits. You might just need to take a -16. Just bite the bullet. And just get good players. Maybe. Yeah. It's a tough situation, Vera. I don't really know what to suggest. You need a complete squad refresh. You should probably keep taking -4s until you have 11 players. I know that doesn't sound nice, but if you could keep getting good players in, then it'll probably work out being worth it. If all of your minuses are for good players, Taylor is not one of them, by the way. Taylor does not resolve too many of your problems. Yeah, you're probably looking at another 1 or 2 pointer from him. I mean, there's a chance of a clean sheet, of course, but you shouldn't really expect too much for Taylor. So Veer, yeah, you're in big trouble. You just need to keep taking the hits, I think. Wrexham Matchday says, put in Aït-Nouri or Powell for a -4. This is really confusing. Put in, if you're free hitting in Game Week 29 or wildcarding before Game Week 29, put Aït-Nouri in. If you are planning to go into Game Week 29 without the use of chips, then pick Pau Torres. In terms of Van Dijk or Pedro Porro, again, same situation. Keep Porro if you're not using chips for 29. Keep Van Dijk if you are using chips for 29. So that question is actually tougher than maybe you think. Michael said, Watkins or Haaland for captain? Haaland is the obvious choice. I'm not really looking at Watkins for captaincy this week, to be honest. I'm between Haaland or Saka. FPL Aaron says, Tony for a week, then Solanke or just Solanke for this week. I think if you're taking a -4, I would make it count for more than one game week. I would pick a player who you're actually confident for multiple game weeks, rather than a 1 week punt. Not massively keen on the 1 week punt -4s. Tony to Watkins for a -4? No way would I do that. Not a chance. Solanke -4 for Archer? Don't think I'd do that. Don't think I'd do that either. Because Solanke, I think, is a 2-pointer. Sam Smith says bench list. There's no one to put on the bench list. No one's got a bench. You guys can just ask me about your bench dilemmas this game week, because there's going to be so few of you with these bench dilemmas. And even some of your bench dilemmas, they're going to be so easy. It's going to be like, should I play Charlie Taylor or should I play Cameron Archer? It's going to be that kind of stuff. And it's really like, who cares? Taylor, by the way, is the answer. But it's not going to be like these big dramatic bench decisions this week, is it? Dear, oh dear. Although the bench list is iconic, has to be said. Taturn says, do I -4 to change Turner? Only if you don't have another goalkeeper. But it's tough to pick one out. I'd probably go for maybe Flecken this week if I had to make a goalkeeper transfer. Hwang captain. Some people are talking about Hwang captain. I'm not massively feeling it. I'm not massively feeling it this week, to be totally honest. I mean, it's fun, right? It's. I would. Don't get me wrong. If anyone is actually captaining Hwang, I would respect it big time. But do I actually think it's a good captain choice? Hey, that's up for you guys to decide. Right, let's do some polls. I want to do some polls. We're in the last hour now. I want to do a captain poll, and I want to see how many minuses you guys are taking as well, or if none. So, poll number 1. We're gonna do. Let's do. Should we do captain first? Captain first, or right? Which first poll is? Which poll shall we do first? Captain poll. Amount of hits poll. There you go. That's the first poll. I'll leave it up for like 1 minute, and we'll see. I can't believe we're polling to see which polls should we do. Roy says yes, Dan. Hwang captain is genius. You reckon? You reckon? All right, captain poll wins. I know there's only been like 100 votes, but that's good enough for me. So, who is your Gameweek 26 captain is the question. The options are going to be Haaland, Saka. Who should the other options be? Right, guys, shout if you are not captaining Haaland and Saka this game week, write a chat of who you're going to be captaining. So if it's not Haaland and it's not Saka, who is it? Who are you captaining? Non-Haaland and Saka captainers. Who are you going for? And then after that, we'll probably add that third option. So we've got Watkins, Hwang, Watkins. So it's Watkins, right? Yeah, Watkins. Watkins is the third option. So Watkins is more popular than Hwang, but it seems like Hwang is the only other option. Nathan N says Gordon. No, that's not going on the poll. Come on, let's be honest. Right, okay, I don't think we're going to go for another option. Okay, so let's, in that case, we'll change the wording of the poll to who is the best Gameweek 26 captain. So if your captain is not on here, on the poll, just vote for who your favourite is out of the 4. And your options are Haaland, Saka, Watkins, and Hwang Hee-chan. Let's see what you got. Oh, my parting is in the wrong place today. I think I need to wash my hair. I only washed it this morning and the parting's in the wrong place. That's like a side parting. What is this? 2012. I need it here. Oh, it's so hard to do because my camera is not mirrored. I need to vibes it. Yeah, I think it's here. Terrible. Terrible. All right, should we give up on that one? Maybe we should put a hat on. Oh, dear. Well, no surprise to see Haaland dominating the captain poll, but not by as much as I expected. And actually, I can't quite believe how many people are captaining Hwang and Watkins. Keep those votes coming, guys, because I don't think 300 is enough to get a good judgment. But to see that 20% of you guys are going to be captaining either Watkins or Hwang, that's pretty nuts. Pretty darn nuts. Interesting. Crazy. Like, Hwang has become such a hyped pick that not only everyone think they have to buy him, but they also have to captain him as well. I mean, don't get me wrong. Hwang is a great pick. But I don't think he's like, essential or, captain material necessarily. I don't know. We'll see. Henry says, why are people not captaining Watkins? Can anyone answer, Henry? I mean, my answer would be because you've got Haaland and Saka right there for the taking. I mean, let's be honest. Would you be captaining Watkins if he didn't score 2 goals last game week? If he... What Watkins' numbers last week? Let's go... Oh, what am I clicking on? If we go here, so Watkins had 0.93 XG and 0.25 XA. So let's say he got 1 attack in return. So if he got like an 8-pointer, let's say an 8-pointer against Fulham, would you be captaining him over Haaland and Saka this week? Probably not. Don't get me wrong, he's definitely a great pick in general. And is he captain material? Yeah, I think he is captain material. But is he quite reached the heights of a Saka and Haaland? No. So to see him at 10% is probably about right. In fact, if anything, it's a little bit high. Because when Haaland is in the game of FPL, there's you're always going to be a differential captain, no matter who you are. Haaland hasn't been that good. I mean, he's not 100% up to speed, but I mean his numbers are really, really top since he's come back. They really, really are. Like, I mean, let's actually have a look. How good are Haaland since Haaland came back to the Premier League? So that was game week. Let's say game week 23, first start. Since game week 23. Oh wait, I'm on the wrong thing. Right. So let's just refresh and go from game week 23. Who has had the highest expected points of any player in the Premier League? It is Saka, followed by Haaland. To be fair, Haaland has played 1 additional game, so maybe we go per appearance. Saka, Gross, Haaland. Pascal Gross, wow. Inflated by penalties. To be fair, both Saka and Gross have been inflated by penalties. So, when you put it that way, Haaland genuinely really is, since he's come back, he certainly, maybe he's not going to be in perfect clinical form. How long is it going to be until he gets back to that? Come on, this is Erling Haaland. It's going to happen. He is just him. He's just him. It really is. Essential, great captain. Why not? Matt with the super chat says Pedro to Solanke, Jota to Hee-Chan, Konate to Ait Nori for a -4. Yeah. Yep. Looks good. JM says, is Gross an odd captain pick? Just tempted by the fixture plus his form currently. I don't think Everton is that good of a fixture. I don't think Everton is a fixture to target necessarily for that fixture. So no, I'm not feeling the Gross captaincy really. Downstairs says, why not captain Watkins? Because Forest are going to smash it. You reckon? We'll see. We'll see. Are we getting our first team leaks? Are the leakers starting the milking? Let's see. Yeah. We've started with Diaz. Yeah, okay. So basically we're gonna get the team. We're going to get the team, but we're going to get the crap players first, basically. I say crap players, the players that we don't really care about for FPL. Okay, but we've got Diaz starting. And we've got a loose rumour that Charlie Taylor is starting. So good news for Taylor owners. Good news there. Shall we... Should we put some of these leaks in the ticker? Let's put them in. So, Diaz starts for City. Taylor rumoured to start for Burnley. And then there is also a Stupinian rumours, but I'm not confident enough in them to put them in there yet. It's okay. We'll put the rumors and the news in the thing, the ticker thing that is here. This thing. See that thing there? That. We're gonna put all the rumors in there. Do you think Lamptey starts? I'm not sure. Guess we'll see. Will we get? We could. The thing is, Brighton are so hard to get early team news from. They really, really are. Like, they keep things very, very secretive. Have we got anything else? Nothing yet. How long till deadline? We still got what? It's 1:30 UK. So that's 42 minutes till deadline. Oh, MIC I put. I meant MCI. What am I doing? What are we doing? What midfielder should I get instead of Foden? I want to sell Foden? I don't know, Floyd. I don't know if I'd want to sell Foden until we get any more information. I know you guys want the KDB news. As soon as I have it, you will have it. As soon as I have it. But we know with leakers, they will leave KDB to absolutely last minute possible. Because they're trying to build hype. They're trying to build interactions and stuff. Which is, like, fair enough. Like, I would do the exact same thing. But we're going to have to deal with the drip feeding. It is what it is. It be what it be. That is the world that we live in. Get used to it. Because it ain't changing. But yeah. I think, judging by the fact we've already started to get Man City leaks now, it'll only be so much time before we get KDB news. I want to get some Foden news as well. I want Foden and KDB. To be fair, if KDB isn't starting, would you be more tempted to remove the captain's armband from Haaland without that creativity? I know Haaland is going to be fine with or without De Bruyne, but I don't know. It's food for thought. It really is something to think about. Or do we really want a bench list? I mean, people keep asking about the bench list. Do you really need it? All right. Fine, but I mean, I don't know why. Let's get it set up then. Right, bench list. Right then. Who do you want on it? There we go. We'll put a few players in there. Actually, would I play? No, I wouldn't play. I wouldn't look to play Cameron Archer really. Maybe I'll play him ahead of Trippier. I don't know what the other kind of bench questions you have are. I mean, based on current information, you've put Foden and De Bruyne above them as well. I mean, what Carter? You say you need a bench list. Like, who do you need to be on the bench list? Like, what are the players? We'll throw them in. Well, meanwhile, I'll keep looking for this early team news. Right. Johan says, good team for wildcard in 28. I mean, I would not be locking in any wildcards yet, because we're going to find out so much information next game week that it will change everything. If you're planning to wildcard in 28, might be nice to have a rough idea, I guess, but you know, don't lock anything in. But anyway, Ariola Dubravka, yeah, not really. Don't really like either of those goalkeepers. So I think West Ham and Newcastle currently tracking at the 2 worst defences in the Premier League, so don't really like either of those goalkeepers. Branthwaite, Gusto, Maguire. Okay, I see what you're doing here. You're spending as little money as possible in goal and in defence. So in defence, Branthwaite, Gusto, Maguire, Bradley. Bradley will be out of the team soon. Alderkill, yeah, no, definitely not. And then in midfield, Son, KDB, Salah, Saka, Hichan, Solanke, Adebayo, Haaland. Yeah. So you're just giving up on defense, basically. No. No, I don't like it. You barely cover yourself for Game Week 29. I mean, you just don't cover yourself for Game Week 29. How many Game Week 29 players is that? One Areola, 2 Alderkiel, 3 Son, 4 Adebayo. So 4 to... Johan, I feel like you've just spent €5 to make a joke. Is this a joke? Wild card? It's got to be a joke wild card. That is tragic. But yeah, thank you for the super chat though, Johan. And yeah, interesting wild card if nothing else. Right, Nadari says Palmer to Hwang or Lascelles to Aitnori. Lascelles to Aitnori, because Palmer is at least useful in future game weeks. Lascelles is not. Is certainly not. Right. Anyway, who are we putting on the bench list? Who was it who wanted the bench list? Was it Carter? Carter wants Taylor, Stupinan, and all right, we'll put Stupinan in there. Who I would start ahead, like here, maybe. I honestly think this probably sums up like the whole of this. Probably solves every bench dilemma in just these 8 players. Because seriously, who else have you got that you're really thinking about benching? Like, this is not a. We don't need a bench list this week. Come on. Bench list Gordon. I mean, yeah, you play Gordon. Powell and Ake on the bench list. Powell here. Ake probably here. Garnacho and Solanke. Now you're not benching Garnacho. Really? What are people's teams? Garnacho, you start probably ahead of the Man City players. Solanke, you could potentially start maybe here, I guess. Zinchenko for the bench list. You start Zinchenko and you hope for the best. Probably. Well, he's such minutes risk though, isn't he? Maybe not then. Alright, there you go. Walker on the bench list. He can go here. Jack says, do I bench Palmer or Jota? See, these are the dilemmas that I was expecting. Senesi, you really do not want to start ideally. I would maybe even put Senesi down here. No more team news so far. What are these like? Are these bench dilemmas like for free hitters or something like that? Let's talk about best 4.1 million or less defenders instead, says Kaja. I feel like you're probably the only person who's interested in that, but you know, even that is more interesting than a bench list this week, in my opinion. So let's go for it. All right. Defenders 4.1 minute. There's gonna be basically no one. I mean, I think the best one is probably Gusto, but he doesn't have a fixture. So let's go. Maguire is 4.2, isn't he? Bradley's not going to play from game week 30 onwards, and doesn't play a fixture this game week anyway. The points potential is low. Oh, Tavares, actually. No, Tavares. I tell a lie. Tavares is probably the guy. Van Heck, potentially. But Tavares is getting up, attacking well. And like I said, Forest, their defensive numbers are good. They just need to solve the goalkeeper situation, which might be solved now with the new keeper. Betting in a little bit. Missed a couple of games, hasn't he? Through head injury. But you know what? Let's go with Tavares. There we have it. I do low-key like the look of Tavares. So, yeah. If you want a defender, a super cheap defender, yeah, maybe go for him. Good chance of a fixture in game week 29 as well. It's all good. There we are. Any leaks on KDB? No, not yet. Not yet. We have, however, got Ake. Ake starts. Ake starting, guys. Let's add that into the ticker. In fact, I'm just going to switch out Diaz because nobody really cares about that. So, there we go. Ake starts. Which means I think we can move him above Kyle Walker for the bench list. There you go. There's bench list again very quickly. And it's gone. Who would you go with, Flecken or Leno? I would go for Flecken. Do I go Watkins for a -4, even though I have full 11 of players with a game? Depends who the 11 are. If you've got some rotation risk players, then it might be worth taking an extra -4. And particularly if you're selling like a Darwin, then I would possibly do it. Mark says, Dan looks so disappointed that people actually wanted a bench list this week. I'm not disappointed. I'm just like, I mean, I'm more confused. Like, how, first of all, I mean, I'm just baffled. I'm just purely baffled. Sam says, can we talk about your dream today? No. We can't. Not until at least after the deadline finishes. We're going to go all the way through to team news, like official team news, by the way, guys. We're going to go through till 2 p.m. UK. So we'll be streaming for another hour. We'll get the official final team news before we end the stream. And I'm going to go for a haircut, which quite evidently I need. Right. Ray, we still have not got Man City news. We've got Ake starting, we've got Diaz starting, but we're gonna get it very slowly. The leakers will be saving KDB and KDB and Foden. They'll be the last players we learn about, the very last players we learn about. At like 5 minutes till deadline, no doubt. In fact, actually, since we are streaming for like another hour, and I've already been streaming for an hour and a half, and I've drunk a lot, can I use the bathroom? Is that okay? Excuse me, miss. Can I use the bathroom, please? Just to see me through for the rest of the stream. Let's add this here. Oh wait, that's terrible. You can't even read it. You can't read that. Let's change the color to, ooh, green. Ooh, this looks fun. Let's do green and black. Oh, actually no. What about green and white? Oh, I'm having some fun. Yeah, that looks great. Giant BRB message. Oh no, what have I done? Can I change the text? Right, be right back 2 mins. Permission to use the bathroom. Shall we do a poll? Okay, we'll do a poll. Let's end the captain poll first of all. Saka, Watkins, Saka. Let's start with Haaland. Haaland 73% most popular captain. Saka 11%. Watkins 8%. Hwang 8%. So Haaland in the end has dominated this poll. Saka, Watkins, Hwang pretty even. So we'll end that poll. Paredes says, will you start Digne or Solanke this game week? I'll start Solanke. I'm not convinced by Digne's start. Okay, so let's start a poll. Please may I use the bathroom? And the answers are yes or no. And so you want some? We can put some music on in the background. Can I find some like royalty free? Let me find some royalty free music that I can use. Epidemic sound, which I use. In fact, let's just throw it off screen for a second. We'll put the bench list on screen for a second whilst we'll find some nice royalty free music to put on in the background. Fantastic work. And let's see how the poll's getting on. So far, it's 52% yes, but it is close. Is the desktop audio on? Let's see. What is this terrible song? The desktop audio is not working. I'm spending far too much time on this. There we go. Right. I'm ending the poll now because it's at 51%. Oh, damn, it dropped to 50-50. 50% yes, 49% no. I'm allowed to go. There you go. You can have some music on in the background as well. Wow, thank you so much, everyone, for allowing me that simple privilege. I very much appreciate it. We're back now, though. We are back. Right. How many viewers did we lose in that? No idea. Right. we got super chat. We got super chat from Vishal says use wildcard. Dubravka, Kelleher. Is this a post wildcard or pre wildcard team? With Dubravka and Kelleher, because I do not like those goalkeepers really. Gabriel, Alex Moreno, rotation risk. Senesi, Lamptey, rotation risk. Dallo, Saka, Foden, Garnacho, Bowen, Hee-Chan, Watkins, Solanke, Haaland. Suggestions are to get a better goalkeeper, probably Flecken, and remove Alex Moreno for Pau. And Lamptey probably not going to be too much use to you. Maybe just go for Gusto for later game weeks, I guess. Aside from that, it's pretty decent. Pretty decent. But yeah, there are some issues, I guess. Right, where were we? Let's get back in the game. Any team leaks whilst we were... whilst we were BRB? Let's see here. No. Nothing. I've only gone for a minute, right? Let's see. Yeah, we've got Ake and Diaz so far. Ake is like pretty interesting, but come on. Let's be honest. Diaz. Diaz, right? Any team leaks whilst you were leaking? Very good, Neil. Very good, Neil. Dan, how many hits did you take this week? I'm only on one hit, but I'm close to another. I only need a KDB or Foden benching, and I'm gonna do another, I think. Zachariah says, with mustache, you look like Hector Bellerin, mate. Perhaps try wearing a Real Betis shirt next time. Not a bad shout, you know. The Hector Bellerin look. Why not? Why not? Ryan says, Kudus or Douglas Luiz. Both have their merits. Douglas Luiz feels like the better pick at the moment. But I think with Paqueta, when Paqueta is back, Kudus is going to be back in business. Just West Ham have just been poor recently, haven't they? But they've got to turn it around at some point. This is not going to last forever. And I think, you know, when these top players are coming back into the team, it's a good time to change in form, right? Surely. Lamptey on the bench list. All right. So Lamptey can go next to a Stupinian on the bench list. Odegaard or Hwang? I would buy Hwang before I'd buy Odegaard. I like them both though. Cancelo starting. I don't know. I don't really get Barcelona team news. Hi Dan, Trossard or Gordon this week. To start or to play? I don't know. Okay, Foden starts. Phil Foden starts today, my friends. Let's put that in the ticker. Let's put it in the first one. Foden starts for Man City. So, good news, Foden owners. Buy Hwang, bench Taylor, or buy a sub 4.8 starting goalkeeper. I would. Why do you need to buy a sub goalkeeper? What, to start today? I mean, I think it's fine to go into this game without a goalkeeper. If I had to play with 10 men, one of the men's the goalkeeper, well, the only man was the goalkeeper, I'd be happy with that. I guess I'd buy Hwang out of those two choices. Great Foden news. Yeah, good news on Foden. Relief all around, I imagine. But it doesn't help us with De Bruyne. Let's see. I think people are like, I'm looking on Twitter and people are getting a little bit sick with the team leaking. I think it's quickly becoming actually unpopular. I mean, I don't really have a problem with it. I just want to see if KDB is starting. And a Stupinian would be nice. Can we get a Stupinian news? That would be decent. But we'll see. Carter says, if De Bruyne doesn't start, do you play Taylor over him then? No, probably not. Yeah. I still think I would... If De Bruyne's on the bench, and I think he will be, he's either getting minutes off the bench and will have a chance at points from the bench, or he's not going to play full stop, right? So, overall, you probably still want to play him. You still want to start him. We're going to update the bench list with KDB. So, KDB would now drop... Well, we don't have KDB news. We've got Foden, who's now up. But, whilst we don't know... I don't know, guys. I'm receiving DMs. What have we got? Nothing. Captain poll. We've done a captain poll already. We'll do a hit poll. We only got 17 minutes left until deadline. And then we'll all rush to the transfer page from there, I imagine. Let's do a poll. Who is the... no, how many hits are you taking this week? None. 1 -4. 2 -8. 3 or more -12 or more. I hope this poll makes sense, guys. Right, please let me know how many hits you've taken this week. The question is, if De Bruyne isn't starting, I have a choice. I can do João Pedro to Solanke and probably bench Trippier and just take De Bruyne from the bench. Or I do De Bruyne to Ødegaard and keep everything else as it is. I think Ødegaard will outscore Solanke, but I also would ideally like the opportunity to bench Trippier. I think De Bruyne outscores Trippier. So it's a tough one. Aaron says, committed early chip plan, free hit team. Hub has Nori and Dawson 2 times Wolves defenders. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, I don't think I'd go for a Brighton defender. I don't think I'd necessarily go for a Palace defender. I'd be looking at Dallo, Moreno, Nori, Gabriel. I'd still be looking at Gabriel for this game week. So, yes. I would do that. I think I have a free hit team I made earlier. It is this the free hit? No, it's... Yes, it is. So this is the team I built earlier for a free hit. Feel free to pause or... oh, wait, you can't see. I've got the bench list on screen. So, yeah, feel free to pause or take a screenshot or whatever. That is what I put for my free hit team. For my wildcard team, I put something like that. So there we go. So Vishal says, what would be your ideal wildcard team? Can you make one? Just one to take some ideas. Can't see a wildcard video specific. I didn't make a wildcard specific video, but we spoke about drafts in other videos, and we did build drafts in other videos as well. But yeah, there you go. That's your wildcard. So both super chats, hopefully happy with that. That's your wildcard. That is your free hit. Wildcard. Feel free to take a screenshot. Free hit. Feel free to take a screenshot. Of course, any little changes you want to make to them, absolutely fine. That's just what I would go for personally. So there we go. Team news. Oh, well, we've got the team news that Ruben Dias is starting. Huzzah. No, we've got Ake starting and we've got Foden, more importantly. Foden starting. But all of the team news I'm putting in, like, you see, like, wait, down, way down there where the text is kind of scrolling across. That is the team news that we have at the moment. Anything else we get that is interesting, I'll put down there. Should we throw the team on for the show team gang? There's not really too much to see this week. There we go. Vishal says, thanks, man. Cheers. No problem at all. Louis says, final team. There's no such thing as a final team until the deadline passes, my friend. Leak is really longing out this De Bruyne thing. Really, really longing this one out. Unless they don't know. John, I will honestly, as soon as I have the KDB news, I will provide it to you. But until I see a credible source, I'm not saying a thing. Because at the moment, all I see is rumours. And that's not good enough for me. Come on. Team leaks, team leaks, team leaks. That's all we care about, right, guys, at this point. We've got 12 minutes till deadline, for heaven's sake. Oh, dear. Right. I think you should just call up FPL Tony and he wouldn't tell me. Why would he tell me? Because if he tells me, then I'm the one who gets to break the news. Why would he give away the free information? It's not going to happen. We're going to have to wait. Alright, I need to think here. I think I'm leaning towards João Pedro to Solanke because it's a move I'm going to do next week either way. Even if De Bruyne is benched, I will still start him ahead of Trippier. If De Bruyne starts, I think I roll with this team. If De Bruyne is benched, João Pedro to Solanke. Wait, but then it wouldn't make a difference whether... Well, no, because I would need the cover just in case De Bruyne doesn't even come off the bench. Which I think is a very real possibility. 10 minutes till deadline. We ain't getting this news, are we? No, we are. Come on. Nuts. If KDB doesn't start, would you take a would you take a 4-point hit to bring in Foden for KDB? No. I wouldn't bring in Foden, no. I'd bring in Erdegaard or He-Chan or Neto or Bruno Fernandes or Garnacho. One of those players. Or Saka. If you don't have Saka, 100% him. I'm just sitting here refreshing at this point, guys. Does Fan Print ship to USA? Yes, it does, Eriku. It certainly does ship worldwide. We've already shipped quite a lot to the US already. Garnacho instead of He-Chan. If you really want to, I think He-Chan is probably a safer bet, but Garnacho is still a very decent pick. Everyone, by the way, putting in fake team news and fake leaks in the chat, by the way. You ain't fooling no one. I have all of the team leaks all in one place. If it happens, I know about it. If it doesn't happen, I know you've made it up. So nice try. Ignore chat. Listen to FPL Mate only. James says we ain't getting this news. Don't be so negative. Come on. Come on. We've still got 9 minutes. Ready to crash the FPL servers. You taking KDB out? I don't think I want to take KDB out, to be honest. Alan says best Gusto replacement to make a team. No free hit 29. Like, if you need to go someone super cheap, then Tavares. But if you spend a bit more money, then Pau Torres, maybe. Looks okay. Right, let's go. Let's look here. Haaland starts, brilliant. We knew that. Okay, so I guess we've got the news that Haaland starts. Come on, man. Oh, is this real? This is actually another level, isn't it? This week is unreal. Unreal. Ah, oh, dearie me. Edison, yeah, Edison starts is going to be the next one, isn't it? Let's see, what is this? Apparently Pau Torres is starting, according to his own Instagram account. We'll see. No Estupinian news, no Moreno news. I'm going to get like a transfer like loaded up and ready to go just in case we do get the news and I do need to act upon it quickly. I think the move is probably João Pedro to Solanke because it's a move I want to make anyway. Even though I don't massively fancy Solanke this week. So actually maybe I should... Okay, in that case, I need to do something. I need to put João Pedro on the pitch instead of Trippier. Save that. Is that right? Yeah. And then load up this transfer ready to go. Cool. Right. We're ready. Okay, De Bruyne is not starting. There we go, done. Ah, there we go. De Bruyne on the bench, chaps. Confirmation. So, João Pedro out, Solanke in. Confirm the transfer. And then I'm done. Oh, there we have it. Right, let's throw that into the ticker. KDB not starting for Man City. There we have it. Well. Dunzo. Ready to go. I'm actually locked in now. Cool. There we have it. I'm glad someone's leaked it. I was worried we weren't going to get that one for a second. But we always get the team news in the end. Sometimes it's a little bit late. But yes, KDB not starting. I'm still going to start him in my team, but I need the backup. So I've brought in Solanke. I need the backup now. Because I think there is a good chance that Solanke gets 0 minutes. And particularly if Man City find themselves up in the game. Stupinian news is now important. I mean, kind of, not really. I'm not going to act upon it either way. Crazy that we get early team news for like a kickoff that is in what, 4 hours time? What happens to Trippier? He goes to my bench. That's what he does. To collect his 1-pointer that I don't want. I think we're good to go. Carter said I would act on the Stupinian news. I mean, all I'd perhaps do is put Trippier on. But we've got 2 minutes, and we're not gonna. We're probably not gonna get any. Yeah, we're not gonna get a Stupinian news. Is 10 players fine? 10 players is okay. We don't actually know if KDB is even in the squad. He might not even be in the squad. All we know is that he doesn't start. Pierre says, come on, who starts in goal for Brighton? How should I know? No, I mean, no, Brighton are notoriously difficult to get team leaks from. Notoriously difficult. So, yeah, nobody ever has leaks from Brighton, sadly. Is Saka a good captain? Yeah, sure. KDB, yeah, he travelled, yeah, but we don't know if he's actually in the matchday squad. You imagine he's probably going to be on the bench, right? We'll see what happens. Right, am I happy with Trippier there on the bench? I think I am. I think I'm happy. I don't fancy Trippier this game week at all. I think he's got another 1-pointer loaded. It could even be a 0-pointer. Really could. So we've taken a -8. Crazy, I know. But it is what it is. Got to be done. The fun starts next game week. We'll see what we do. Walker news, no. Deadline's passed. Deadline is passed, guys. We are done. We are locked in. Kind of low-key wish I did the Ødegaard move. That would have been a bit more fun, but this just seems like the sensible move to make. But it's done now. And it's done. Cool. Right. Let's see what happens now. We'll get the actual team news in 30 minutes time. We'll stick around till then to find out. Let me just double check what time my haircut is today. Let's check. Did I definitely book it? Today's the 24th of February, isn't it? 2:45. Okay, cool. I've got plenty of time. Cool. Right. Where did everyone end up then? Did anyone take the extra -4? Potentially? Potentially there. I'm going to end the poll. It looks like 2,000 votes. 44% on no hits. I imagine that changed in the end. Josh said bought in Ødegaard for De Bruyne, -4 last second. Yeah, on like reflection, I kind of wish I had done that. I mean, that would have been the fun move, and I've instead gone for the boring move. But I guess boring is sensible. All I've really done is made my team pretty template. Like, I've fully converged with the FPL template, haven't I? Which is pretty nuts. Not something I'm happy about. I can't wait to wildcard out of the template and do something interesting. Erdegaard would have been the fun move. But we've gone boring. We've gone template. Solanke's a player I wanted for next game week either way. So I think I'll thank myself next week when I already have Solanke in place and have the freedom to, you know, make any transfer really in the world as a 1 week punt before my game week 28. Game week 28 wildcard. So that's going to be fun. I already don't know who I'm going to bench next game week. Next week, I'm having a benching headache. I might even have to make a defender transfer. I've already got too many good players for next week. Maybe Foden or De Bruyne. Sell them against Manchester United. Heung-min Son, I kind of like the look of against Crystal Palace. Potentially. Let's see. Looks like a few people did the KDB to Erdegaard move. I like it. I do like it. I don't like the fact that I've just taken a -8 particularly, but what are you going to do? Needed to be done. So next week, Dan. Yeah, that is the move I've had my eye on. Like if I did Solanke this week, then Son would be next week. If I didn't do Solanke this week, it would be Solanke next week in. But because Son is the like De Bruyne / Foden replacement that I actually want, but you can't do that this week. So let's see what the situation is with De Bruyne next game week. Is he long-term absentee, or is this like his final rest before, let's be real, 2 very important games. Because after this Bournemouth game, Manchester United and Liverpool, you would completely understand if De Bruyne was being saved for those 2 big games. Those are the important ones. So I'm not surprised about De Bruyne being on the bench, but I still going to roll with him for this week. But yeah, Son next week. Going Erdegaard would lock me out of Son next week as well, if I went for Erdegaard. Right. FA Cup this week awaits our fate. I know, man. I know. We'll see what happens. Jeremy says, got to go to work. Thanks again, Dan. And best wishes to everyone. Best wishes to everyone indeed. But we're still going to stay on. 25 minutes, we get the real team news. We get the Estupinian and Charlie Taylor news. Official. That's what we really care about, right? Did you take a -8? I certainly did take a -8. Matthias says, I did KDB to Saka for a -4. Was it worth it? Yes. Yes, it was. Yes, it was worth it. Now, Solanke, I'm going to need you to repay my faith by scoring against Manchester City this afternoon. If Solanke can outscore Erdegaard, I'm going to be a very happy young man. Mohammed says, do you think Lamptey starts? I'm conflicted on that one. Maybe like 50-50. I know that's the least helpful thing a person can say. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. CFC Ethan says, still start KDB over Taylor this week. I don't know about over Taylor. I don't know. I guess it could work out. Yeah, just De Bruyne from the bench, man. Like, you know that he can do damage there. Well, I think there's a good chance he gets 0 minutes. KR Fishing says, Mrs. dragged me out shopping and missed deadline. Any news on De Bruyne? Bad news, unfortunately, my friend. De Bruyne is not in the starting 11. We don't know for sure if he's on the bench yet. But we'll see. Jorge says, nice mustache. Thank you very much, Jorge. I'm glad somebody likes it. Letharbo says, -4 and still only 9 outfield players. It's not ideal. What are the predicted points for Solanke, actually, out of interest, according to the algo? 5.1. Okay, that's decent. So that's worth a -4 for Solanke, according to the algorithm. We'll take it. Rashford Masterclass incoming. Let's see. Jeff C says, took a -12 last week to get KDB and Doughty. Doesn't even start to field my 11. That is not ideal. Not ideal indeed. OG Eng says, there is no rematch if the FA Cup draw now. Yeah, I think there's no more rematches after this round, is there? Well, from this round. So we should be pretty much good to go with whatever results we get next week. Can't believe I took a -8, man. Like, it's fun. Did FPL Tony ever do the KDB leak? No, he did in the end. Well, there we have it. The Quantum Thief with the £3 super chat says, thanks for the great content. The Quantum Thief, you are most welcome. You are most welcome. And thank you for the support. Appreciate that. Right. X-Devil says, you said you'd get Son next week. Don't you want Salah? Yeah, I guess Salah would be a nice 1 week punt. But I'd have to take a -4 to do that again. And I don't really know how I would do that. Because I needed Solanke. Oh, wait. Oh, why did I do that? Oh, why did I do that? Okay. Well, Show Team Gang, unfortunately, the time has passed. You will never be able to see what my team look like. Oh, well. Oh, well. Yeah. No, I don't really see how I would do it. But I think Son, it looks pretty good for next game week as well. Against Crystal Palace. Like, remember, Forest's defensive numbers are looking up. And to be honest, are we even like guaranteed Salah is going to play in that Forest game? Even if he plays this weekend, is Klopp really going to want to push him when he already pushed him last week and it's led to like kind of a reoccurrence of the injury? Salah might actually be wrapped in cotton wool a little bit, maybe save for the Man City game the following week, just given that time to get back up to speed rather than throw him straight back in. Mr. V says Son's data is not good. What do you mean Son's data is not good? He hasn't played in a month. He's been at Asia Cup. So his data wasn't good against Wolves. Fair enough, one game. But prior to that, pretty decent. Like working out at what's that? Probably like an average of 0.6, 0.7 attacking contributions per game. Considering he is considering Son is an overperformer as well. Last 2 games not good. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, if you want to use 2 games as a data set, but it's been shown time and time again that 2 game weeks is not enough data to make reliable decisions. It's not enough. And it's not even 2 full game weeks. It's basically 1 game week because he only played a few minutes at the end of the game, of the previous game. So if you want to go off, you judge Son on, 1 and a bit games rather than the years and years of evidence we have on him, then fair enough, I guess, but I will not be falling into the same trap. Unfortunately. Curty, well done. You've got the attention you want. Have a permanent mute from the channel because you're just making up stupid rumours and nobody cared or asked, really, for your opinion. So sorry, Curty, but nobody cares, nobody asked, and if you want to ever comment on the FPL Mate YouTube channel ever again, you're gonna have to make a new YouTube account. So L for you, my friend. L for you. Anyway. Where were we? Felix says, thanks, Dan, for all your great content. Good luck to all. Thank you very much, Felix. Appreciate that, my friend. Donnelly says, Dan, beef in this random. No beef. No beef here. I'm just chillaxing, waiting for some team news. As we all are, I imagine. We're all just waiting for that team news. Let's go on. Should we go on Twitter, see what everyone's up to? Basta says, when do you think we should wildcard? In game week 27, 28, or 35? Probably. So did everyone sell De Bruyne? It looks like a lot of people did. Let's see. Yeah. Looks like a lot of people did sell De Bruyne. Wow, I'm going to be like one of the only people who held on to him. Was that a bad move? Guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. Am I finished? Tell you what, if De Bruyne can repeat this one, if he can repeat that one, 21 minutes played, goal and an assist. Woo, 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 woo. Well, well, well. We will be pleased and we will be there. Did get an assist against Everton coming off the bench as well. To be fair, he's got more points from the bench recently from when starting. That's pretty nuts. But I may have made a mistake there. We'll find out. I've maybe played that a little bit too safe. Joachim says, been following you since your long hair. Keep up. Wow. That is a long time ago. That's like, what, 3 years? Three and a half years ago, I guess. Adam says he can only if Man City are down. He came on when... Were they drawing when he came on against Everton? Yeah, they would have been drawing. So, I tell you what, Solanke scores to go 1-0 up. And KDB comes on to assist a Haaland brace. Then that is what we like. KDB, 12 point off the bench. Let's go. You now have Kevin differential Bruyne stonks. True, true. I'm not sure if I'm happy about that though. I benched Odegaard instead of Gross. Is that a mistake? Yeah, probably. I would have played Odegaard personally, but it's done now. It's done now. KDB to Salah. I can't afford it, but maybe like if I took a hit next week, I'd do KDB to Salah. I don't think I want to do it though. Surely Salah's got to be protected now before the Man City game. Edward says your graphics have improved since your long hair. I hope so. I hope so. It's been a few years. I want the graphics to be even better though, to be honest. Ryan says you're an Arsenal fan, mate. I mean, yeah, I guess so. I mean, I am, but Arsenal fans don't like it when I say I'm an Arsenal fan because I just want whoever's in my FPL team to do well. Trini says, hey Dan, how has your FPL playstyle changed over the years? I don't really know. I actually don't know. It must have changed. Maybe that's something I need to sit down and think about. But I mean, in the last 5 years, it's gone from me not really knowing how to play FPL to me actually knowing how to play FPL, which is a good start. Not saying I'm a top manager, but I think I'm competent at this point, which is an improvement to what I probably was 5 or 6 years ago, where I was very, very mediocre. Didn't even bother with my transfers half game weeks. Not so long well, I say not so long ago, but a long time ago. Lewis says, surely you want your club to do better than your FPL team though? Well, this is the thing. No, not really. Not really. If my FPL team does well, then I get to keep my dream job. If my FPL team does well and Arsenal do very well, then sure, I'll have some good banter with my friends, but I will also, you know, lose a lot of my income and longevity on this platform, and the trade-off is just not worth it. For a bit of joy, Arsenal are my favourite team, but I don't live and die by them. Like, if Arsenal lose at the weekend, it doesn't ruin my weekend. If Arsenal win the league, then obviously I'm very, very happy. I'm celebrating. Don't get me wrong. But you know, it wouldn't be like one of the most important moments in my life if Arsenal won the Premier League, for example. So I know people who are, you know, football fans, generally speaking, will not like the fact that I prefer my FPL team to my Arsenal team. But I think I'm in a unique situation where my life, you know, my ability to buy food or pay for my housing, you know, is very largely dependent on how well my FPL team does. So it's important that I do stay neutral when it comes to football teams. I obviously have a bit of a bias sneaking in, but it's more important to me that my FPL team does well. And that's why, like, when people ask me, oh, are you an Arsenal fan or what team do you support? I don't really like answering that question, because a lot of Arsenal fans find it insulting when I claim myself as an Arsenal fan. But I am an Arsenal fan. You know, I've been an Arsenal fan since I was 7 years old. I've bought the Arsenal football shirt every year, go to games, watch all the games. It's just that my FPL team is pretty important to me. So I don't know what the answer is. What if Spurs win the league? I mean, I don't really care. I mean, I grew up in a time where Spurs weren't really Arsenal's rivals. I mean, they were technically, but I mean, they didn't really want competitive. I think Spurs fans hate Arsenal a lot more than Arsenal fans hate Spurs. Like, a lot of Arsenal fans are kind of indifferent towards Spurs because we don't really see them as a real threat. Maybe that's changed in more recent years. But in general, I think a lot of Arsenal fans still have a similar viewpoint. Tobias says, in your position, it's 100% understandable. I think if people don't understand, that's a bit dumb. Hey, welcome to the world of social media, Tobias. A lot of people are dumb. A few people say it makes sense. I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense. But like, at the same time, I don't want to disrespect proper fans by claiming that I am also a fan. I would say I'm a fan, but not a proper fan. Plastic. Some people like to use the word plastic. Am I a plastic fan? I guess so. You know, by like definitions. To be fair, the whole culture of like the only real fans are the people who are in the grounds every week, I don't really like that, to be fair, because like football is an international thing, really. You know, there's like, because a lot of people say, oh, unless you go to every game, you are not a proper fan. I think people in, you know, maybe like India or the US who are, you know, waking up or staying up till stupid hours in the night to watch their football team, how can they be less fans than people who go out for a piss up every Saturday in the middle of the day? Hey, just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. Is Ake starting? Yes, Ake is starting. Wesley says, Arsenal win the Premier League or you winning FPL. It is so easy. Obviously, me winning FPL. If Arsenal win the Premier League, I've got nothing to do with that. That's not a personal achievement. I've not done anything. You know, there was no career prospect for me. There's no intrinsic benefit to me. My life doesn't change if Arsenal win the Premier League. If I win FPL, my life changes for the better significantly. So I get this. I see this question all the time. Oh, what would you rather win, FPL or your team win the Premier League? No, it's such an easy decision. Even if you're not an FPL content creator, the amount of, you get TV and radio appearances, you'll get the likes of, Fantasy Football Hub, Fantasy Football Scout. They'll be paying you hundreds of pounds to come on their show, to write articles from them, to appear on their YouTube videos. I'd consider. I've never done it before, but if someone won FPL and they are a good, well-speaking person who is also kind of a little bit interesting, I would happily pay that person to come onto my YouTube channel and have a chat with me. So you winning FPL, you will have opportunities like you never had before. You put that on your CV and peep that. Genuinely, you put former champion of Fantasy Premier League. If you put that on your CV in any country where FPL is popular, people looking at that CV, and people know what FPL is these days. People will look at that and think, hey, that's an interesting thing about this person. And that might separate you from another candidate in your dream job, even if your dream job is nothing to do with football. So winning FPL, I'm sorry, if you're an Arsenal fan, you're going to have, let's assume you're going to live for the next 50 years. Let's assume that. Or 40 or 50 years, I don't know. How many opportunities are Arsenal going to have to win the Premier League in that time? Arsenal in the next 50 years probably win, minimum 5 Premier Leagues? No matter what happens. Now, no matter what happens, how many times are you going to win FPL in the next 50 years? None. 50 people on the planet will win FPL in the next 50 years. 50 people on the planet. How many people are on this planet? 9 billion? FPL is only growing. 9 billion people? Only 50 of them. The chances of you winning FPL is so unlikely. So unlikely. The chance of your team, if you support one of the bigger teams, the chances of your team winning the Premier League at some point in your lifetime is actually reasonably high. Dave Whitey says 50 FPL wins in 50 years. Watch me. Honestly, I'm telling you, I think us guys have a better chance than most of winning FPL because we're obviously engaged managers. But I would be willing to bet a significant amount of money, if I was a betting man, which I'm not, that not a single person in this FPL chat will ever win FPL. The chances of that happening are so low. So low. I don't think a single person... I know that sounds really depressing because we all want to win FPL, right? But realistically, no one watching this stream right at this moment is going to win a FPL in their entire lifetime. But if you support Arsenal, Man City, Man United, Chelsea, Spurs, Barcelona, Real Madrid, some of the Italian teams, Milan, your team is going to win something in their top division in your lifetime. It is going to happen. But you're not going to win FPL. Which is why I like more the targets of saying, okay, I want to finish top 50k. I want to finish top 10k. These are far more realistic targets. Winning FPL, we ain't doing it. None of us are doing it. So there we go. Carter says, I'm winning in 2035 once I'm loaded enough for match fixing. It's a good plan. Harley says, don't count me out, Dan. My highest finish is 470k, but next year is my year. Fair enough. I mean, look, obviously there's a chance one of us watching or, engaging right now is going to win FPL this year. Obviously there's a chance, but I mean, come on. You've got pretty much as much chance of winning the lottery as you have winning FPL. Maybe that's an extreme. Maybe it's a bit extreme, but, come on. If you buy a lottery ticket every week for the next year, you are probably more likely to win the lottery than to win FPL. I don't know. What are the odds of winning the lottery? Does anyone know that? I guess it depends on the lottery. Euro Millions. Dazzler says, how crazy would be for your team to win and at the same time you win FPL? I'm telling you, if Arsenal win the Premier League the same day as I win FPL, I am not going to be celebrating Arsenal winning the Premier League. Like, believe me, because it would happen at the same time, right? It would happen on the final day of the season. If you win FPL on the same day, and by the way, I haven't even spoken about the prizes. You know, you get prizes. You get to go to games. You get like a sick expensive watch. I know the prizes aren't amazing, but still, if you're in like prize mini leagues, if you win FPL, you win all of the prize mini leagues you're in. You could be up so much. If I win FPL the same day as Arsenal win the Premier League, I am not even thinking about Arsenal. I'm sorry. I guess technically I would be celebrating both. And I think over the next few days, it would probably, you know, I'd have a more of an opportunity to think about both. But in the moment, there you go. Carter Dixon says, lottery winning chance is 1 in 45 million. Okay, so 52 weeks in a year. So that takes us down to like 1 in 1 million-ish. Is that right? Yeah, kind of. Near enough. Can't be asked to do the exact maths. And then the chances of winning FPL is 1 in 10 million technically. But if you are comfortably in the top 10%, again, 1 in 1 million. So yeah, your chances of winning FPL this year is the same, or is probably the same or worse than the chance of you winning the lottery this year if you buy a ticket every week. So there we have it. There we go. Rizal says, "Look what happened. What have Arsenal done to you?" I mean, I got to celebrate a lot of Arsenal wins and trophies and stuff when I was a kid. So, you know, not like I've missed out or anything. Should we get some team news finally? I know what I've just said there is going to be super controversial though, because I think people's identity, a lot of people's identity is very closely tied to their football team, which is fine. But I think for me, my identity is closer tied to FPL than it is to, you know, Arsenal. So there we go. Ryan says, "Don't claim Arsenal." I don't. And Arsenal don't claim me. It's absolutely fine. I'm not. I don't support Arsenal to impress other people, which is another thing I don't really like about certain small pockets of football culture, is that everyone's trying to prove who is the biggest and best fan of a team in small circles. I don't care. I watch football because I enjoy watching football. I watch Arsenal because I enjoy watching Arsenal, not because I want some random person on the internet to care how much I support Arsenal. I mean, come on. It's not. I think football fans are so competitive that they're even competing within themselves, which is nuts. Edward says, "I'm going to win FPL next year just to prove Dan wrong." Do it. One of you guys win FPL, come back to me and prove me wrong. I would love it. I would actually love it, and I'd be so happy for you as well. Genuinely, I'd be so gassed for you. Right, we're getting the team news coming in. Right, Burnley, we got Taylor start. Charlie Taylor, come on, Charlie Taylor starts. That's the real news today. Charlie Taylor starting for the mighty Burnley, about to get his first points in God knows how long, but it's happening. Crystal Palace. Is there anyone interesting here? Eduard Mateta. Anyone own those players? Probably not. Anderson. Maybe some people own Anderson. Johnston in goal, which is interesting. Very interesting indeed. For Everton, we've got no Mikalenko. No Mikalenko, unfortunately. So Ben Godfrey start. Oh, no, wait. Okay, I'm reading it backwards. Mikalenko is starting. I was going to say. So Ben Godfrey right back, Mikalenko left back. So we have got Mikalenko. Apologies for that, guys. Sorry if I frightened anyone. Coleman back on the bench. Let's refresh again, see what else we've got. So for Aston Villa, we've got Alex Moreno starting, Digne on the bench again. Bailey starts, no Diaby, no Zaniolo. Douglas Luiz, Jacob Ramsey's in the team. Tielemans in the team. Ollie Watkins up front. Of course. What else did we expect? Luiz, of course, playing in a slightly deeper role, you would imagine. For Nottingham Forest, we have to scroll, don't we? Sells back in net. Our knee is available. There was a few worries about our knee's availability, but it looks like he's good to go because he wasn't pictured in training. And Montiel is back on the bench as well there. Rayner's in the squad as well. Turner on the bench. Sells starting. Yeah, Hudson-Odoi, Elanga starting as well, which is kind of interesting. For Manchester United, confirmation. Forsen starting. There we go. So no change in setup for Man United, really. It's just Højlund has been swapped out for Forsen. Obviously, no Shaw, so it's going to be Dallo right back, Lindelof left back. Is that right? Probably. For Fulham, obviously, we've got no Palhinha this week because of his suspension. Muniz keeps his starting position. Broja still not in the starting 11. I believe, he looks like he has recovered from that illness, though, so he is back in on the bench at least. So there we have that Fulham. And for Brighton, here's the big one. Estupinian's on the bench. There we go. Wait, did you say no Onana? No, we're not. Onana's starting for United. Okay, no Estupinian. No Purvis Estupinian. You haven't got Lamptey there. So annoying, man. Estupinian is just such a horror FPL pick. Worst transfer I ever made in my life. Cannot deal. What are you gonna do? Many of us in the same boat at least, but it just makes me want to press that wildcard button even harder. Yeah, that wildcard is coming soon. I can tell you now. I'm sort of players I'm sick of. Estupinian, Trippier, Dubravka, De Bruyne. Issues everywhere, man. Wildcard coming next week. Right. Not 27 as in 28. Right. Let's wrap things up because I've got to have a haircut in 40 minutes and I need to eat something before I go. So, guys, I will say goodbye to you now. Thank you so much for joining us for this very long stream today, actually. 4.5 hours. 2.5 hours. More than that. Just over 2.5 hours been streaming. That's a pretty long time. It's a pretty big old stream. But I've enjoyed it, guys. I appreciate chatting with you guys this morning and this afternoon. So, guys, yeah, good luck this game week. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you do drop a subscribe if you haven't done already before you disappear. Drop a like as well if you want. Enjoy the football, and I will see you over on Twitter for all of the reactions, particularly when KDB scores his goal from the bench. We will be there. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you later, mates. Rest in peace, Estupinian owners, once again. See you later, mates. Bye.